Hello, I am going to make this video. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers so that I am able to come on here, my YouTube platform, live. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I did in the first video, but it doesn't seem to be moving things fast enough for me. I am going to be 58 years old on August the 8th. My mission is to reach your parents that are my age, your uncles, your aunties. We have got to break this generational curse. We lack knowledge, we lack experience, we lack education based on our peers and the elders. And that's why you guys are my target. So I have this book. I'm going to read a little bit out of this book. It's called From the Browder File. We need to know that this is not our life. This is not who we are. This is not the way we lived. Our ancestors didn't live this way. This is more how we were. I was going to share that with my son. I think that's a tight tattoo, but that's the truth right there. A friend of mine sent me this book. It's a business colleague. Shout out to her. Thank you so much, Nakia. I appreciate this. It was a sister. We now work together, and I was telling her that I've become awake. I no longer am religious. I don't worship Jesus and Christianity, and I'm now spiritual. I now rock with my ancestors. And she was very happy to hear that. And she sent me this book. And she's not quite my age. I believe the young lady's in her 40s, but she's up there, maybe late 40s. But anyway, I just want to go over a little bit of this with you guys because some of you guys, the only thing you will read is a fucking Bible. And you have to understand that that is the weapon that they formed against us. It is the most powerful tool that they have. And I'm going to read out of this book, The Creation of the Negro. Pick a name, any name, Negro, colored, black, African American. I'm going to throw in there nigger because they left that out. Call a people by any name and they are still the same people, right? Wrong. That's what it says. The name that you respond to determines the degree of your self-worth. Similarly, the way a group of people collectively respond to a name can have devastating effects on their lives, particularly if they did not choose their name. We didn't choose this shit, okay? So listen the fuck up. Asians came from Asia and have pride in the Asian race. Europeans came from Europe and have pride in your European accomplishments. Well, Negroes, I am to assume, came from Negro land, a mythical country with an uncertain past and an even more uncertain future. Oh, it's certain. It's certain that we're going to be fucked up because they certainly put us on the bottom and know how to keep us there. So since Negro land is a myth, where did the myth of the Negro originate? The key to understanding what a Negro is to understand the definition of that word and its origin. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to enslave Africans, and they were the first to call them Negroes. Let me put this disclaimer on here real quick. At almost 58, this stuff that I'm reading to you guys, this is the first I learned of any of this. So I'm saying that to say, why the fuck should I have to get almost to, 56 years old to start learning who I really am? Why? Because we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, we've been robbed, all that. And they feeding us the false narrative of their fucked up life. That's it. Okay. When the Spanish became involved in the slave trade, they also used the word Negro to describe Africans. Negro is an adjective which means black in Portuguese and Spanish. But since 1444 and the beginning of the slave trade, the adjective Negro became a noun and the legitimate name of newly enslaved people. Both the Portuguese and Spanish languages were derived from Latin, which have their origins in classical Greece. In most European languages, the word for black is typically associated with aspects of death. Did you hear that? I'm going to read it again. In most European languages, the word for black was typically associated with aspects of death. The word death derived from the Greek word necro, Necro, which means dead, and is similar in sound and meaning to the word Negro. Throughout European history, the words necro and negro were commonly used to reference the physical, spiritual, or mental death of a person, place, or thing. Historically, when the Greeks first traveled to Africa 2,500 years ago, the Egyptian civilization was already ancient. The Great Pyramid was over 3,000 years old, and the Sphinx was even older. Writing, science, medicine, and religion were already a part of the civilization and had reached their zenith. The Greeks came to Africa. Y'all hold on, you're about to learn some shit right here. As students, okay? We so motherfucking nice. We let them in. You know, we start kumbayaing with them motherfuckers and we start teaching them shit, and the rest is history. So, historically, when the Greeks first traveled to Africa 25 years ago, the Egyptian civilization was already ancient. The Great Pyramid was over 3,000 years old, and the Sphinx were even older. Writing, science, medicine, and religion were already a part of civilization, had reached their zenith. Had to read it again because didn't know if you heard me. The Greeks came to Africa as students to sit at their feet of the masters. We was the motherfucking masters. Don't get it twisted. And to discover what Africans already knew. In any student/teacher relationship, the teacher can only teach as much as the student is capable of understanding. Egyptians, like other Africans, understood that life existed beyond the grave. Ancestral worship is a way of acknowledging the lives of the people who have come before you and their ability to offer guidance and direction to the living. That's why they don't want you going to your motherfucking ancestors. They got you praying to this fake ass white entity that ain't real. It's real. It's a real devil. That's why temples were designed as places where the ancestors could be honored. And holidays, holy days, in parentheses, were the days designated to do so. Okay? Y'all listening how they fucking switched everything around in y'all great, fabulous book? The Egyptians had hundreds of temples and hundreds of holy days to worship their ancestors. They had a preoccupation with life and celebrated the legacy of their loved ones. But the Greeks thought these Africans had a preoccupation with death. They regarded the act of ancestral worship as necromancy, or communication with the dead. Okay, so they didn't like that shit. Since the root of the word necro means dead, another word for necromancy is magic. That old black magic, which was practiced in ancient Africa when the Greeks returned to Europe. They took their distorted beliefs with them. The word Negro ultimately evolved out of this great misunderstanding. Less than 300 years after the first Greeks came to Egypt as students, their descendants returned as conquerors. They destroyed the cities, the temples, the libraries of the Egyptians, and claimed African knowledge as their motherfucking own. So let me talk to your mama and your daddy and the sleep black old motherfuckers to teach them why we where we at and why we need to go back to our own roots and give them back their fucked up ass life and take ours back. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Because they want to look like, oh, y'all ain't shit. Y'all burn and loot. And did you just see they took our shit, burnt it up, torched it, did all that. Not only was the African legacy stolen, but the wholesale theft of African people soon followed. With the birth of the slave trade and the creation of the Negro, it became necessary to dehumanize Africans and devalue their historical worth as a people in order to ensure their value as slaves. What was once referred to as a color and physical condition is now regarded as an appropriate state of mind for millions of Africans now residing in America. Y'all thought all this shit was real. Stay with me. I got more where this came from. So there you have it. The Negro, a race of dead people with a dead history and no hope for resurrection as long as they remained ignorant of their past. This was a triple death. The death of the mind, the death of the body, the death of the motherfucking spirit of the African people. It was strictly forbidden for Negro slaves to learn to read or write. Such a knowledge was the key to liberation and was placed firmly out of reach. The Negroes became educated. However, they sought to redefine themselves. That would be motherfucking me right now. Because I'm born again. I left all that shit go alone. And I'm trying to wake you sleep old motherfuckers up so we can save these kids underneath us. Period. The evolution of the Negro from colored to black to African American to African represents a progression of self-consciousness as a free people. We have a responsibility to educate ourselves and rediscover our African identities. Knowledge of self is the key to unlocking the door to the future. The sooner we understand that fact, the sooner we will be able to thank God we are African people. God chose us. They took our title. Listen, can't nobody stand next to God like us. Nobody. But y'all just don't want to let go of that fake ass book y'all be reading. Y'all just don't want to let it go. Y'all just don't want to let it go. Of all the essays in from the Browder File, the creation of the Negro has been one of the most popular. It has been well received for two obvious reasons: the subject matter and accompanying illustration, specifically the image of the kindly figure emerging out of Africa. Y'all know what they referring to. They referring to this in case you didn't see it. That was the image. That's who we were. That's who the fuck we are today. You see that shit? Okay. So. Oh, I went back too far. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, I already read that. Of all the essays, okay, I read that part. It has been well received for two obvious reasons: the subject matter, accompanying illustration. Those are the illustrations I showed you. So the illustration was drawn by Malcolm Aaron, and we have received numerous requests from people who asked permission to use the art on t-shirts and posters. I'm going to send it to my son. He liked tattoos, so I was sending it to him. Several years ago, while lecturing at an Air Force base in Misawa, Japan, I was told that this art was the most popular tattoo among brothers in the military. This image of a strong African king is one which any former Negro would naturally be drawn to. Regarding the word Negro, The legitimacy of its use as a name for Africans, I refer you to Richard Moore's book, The Name Negro, Its Origin and Evil Use. That was my first hearing of this book. I will be purchasing this book, and I will read some of the book to you guys. I'm on a mission on my YouTube page that you motherfuckers won't pick up books and read them. Sugarmomma gonna pick the book up. Come on here and read to y'all ass every day. But I got to start with waking your motherfucking mama and your daddy and your uncles and your aunties up before I can. Some of y'all more awoke than the old people. Kudos to y'all. There is no doubt that the word Negro was created by evil people for evil purposes. Okay? I see when black people ask me, how do I know what I'm reading is true? Because I feel it. This is some true ass shit right here. The late John Henry Clark often reminded us that dogs and slaves were named by their masters. The only free men named themselves. Only free men. With this understanding, any free-minded person should view the word Negro as an inappropriate name for black people and black organizations. Okay? Now, I circled this whole paragraph. I can understand the acceptance of the name years ago when we did not know any better. But why the fuck y'all stuck in cognitive dissonance? It blows my mind. But with all the knowledge that we have available to us, there is no motherfucking excuse for the continued use of a word that is demeaning and obsolete. Now I wrote in this paragraph, this is how I feel about Jesus. Some of y'all so mad about that. Look up the real root of Jesus. Look up, I dare you, look up the good ship Jesus. Look up the fact that the KKK today in 2021 worship that motherfucker, okay? I dare you to put that book down and research some real shit. So as a recovering Negro, that's what the fuck the book say. As a recovering Negro, I have promised myself never to write Negro with a capital N. Negro is not a noun. It is a nuisance, and it should be jettisoned from our vocabulary along with the other infamous N-word. Anyone who chooses to use these words do so out of ignorance and disrespect. The latent king or queen inside of you cannot peacefully coexist with a Negro mentality. Either you choose to be free and think, talk, and act like a free person, or you either are a motherfucking slave. You can't be both. You just can't be both. Okay? I'm going to read, I want to skip forward because I'm not going to read it. You know what? I should go in the order, but wait a minute. I don't want to make this too long because, black people, if you be too long on some educational shit, then motherfuckers will start clicking off the video and all that shit. Y'all gonna make me go ghetto and wild so I can get some likes because y'all like all this confrontation. The children of the sun in Africa. Oh, I was just trying to get to the breakdown of the word. I wanted to share that with y'all. But listen, I think maybe I read enough, but let me just close the video by saying this. If everything you were taught is real, then why would you be afraid to explore? Because if you read something and your belief is solid and your foundation is solid, you reading a book is not going to waver you. The reason y'all don't want to read is because some of y'all are terrified what people are going to think about you if you stop fucking with Jesus. Some of y'all are terrified what's going to happen if you stop eating their food. Some of y'all, you don't know how many people say, Sugarmomma, You vegan? You don't eat meat? Well, what do you eat? Wow. Do y'all know that we have to kill meat to eat it? And do y'all really think that God designed the world for us to kill various beautiful entities just because they made us savages? Because killing animals to eat them is some savage ass shit. Okay? Because I haven't ate an animal in a I guess almost a year, not quite, because I was pescatarian first. But I haven't ate death in a long time. I have ate cheese and egg. Sometimes I waver from vegan to vegetarian, but not much. Mostly I'm vegan. But what I will say is I don't put death on my plate. I'm not gonna, because I'm on a whole different vibration frequency. That's why not many people will be able to deal with me. That's why I don't date. It's gonna take a special man, because soon as I ask a motherfucker, do he love Jesus, and he say yeah, I'm out. Or if he want to learn why I don't, I'm open to teach. But anyway, you guys, I have a lot going on. Please share my page. If you're watching this and you know Kwame, please share with him. I would love to come on his platform, because people like that with all those followers, they always pull up, they always pull up famous people. They don't never come down here and just get a normal person and talk to us. I really like following him and his teaching, but I want to get to his page to teach him. Stop giving props to Jesus. And I need him to study who the fuck Jesus really is. And I need for all y'all to study religion and Christianity. And then I need you motherfuckers to wake up, and let's open up this pineal eye right here, and let's do this. Let's take our fucking life back. Let's wake our ancestors up. Let's put them to work. They waiting on us to call on them, but y'all want to keep calling on that fake ass motherfucking entity. Not. Share, subscribe, get me up to 1,000 views. I bet you if y'all get me on Kwame motherfucking platform, Sugarmomma, get 1,000 views. Either way, I'ma be patient. I'ma get there, cause I'ma teach you old motherfuckers something so we could change the young. Talk with y'all later. Love you guys. Be blessed. Ashe.